Welcome to my journey to unlock all of the achievements for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider has quickly become some of my favorite games of all time, and Shadow is the last of the 3 reboots that I need to fully 100% the Survivor trilogy. Lara Croft is dead set on stopping Trinity, the big bads of the game. They're an organization that was created thousands of years ago that aimed to seize power over the entire world by utilizing ancient artifacts. The game has 99 achievements, most of them being fairly easy to obtain and impossible to miss. The only ones we have to really focus on will be the combat related ones, as those can't be completed once we finish the story. Now, on to the hunt. This journey begins in a crumbling plain that splits Jonah and Lara apart. Quickly, we find ourselves in a flashback from 2 days prior. Within this flashback, the two discover a beautiful crypt that would hint at the location of a powerful artifact. The two escape near death after Lara stepped on an explosive booby trap that sent the crypt crumbling. After freshening up, we meet with Jonah at a cafe in Mexico. It is here where we find and follow the main antagonist of the game, Dr. Dominguez. Before pursuing Dominguez, we unlock our first achievement, Path of the Stars, for deciphering the riddle hidden in the crypt. After following Dominguez and finding a way past the dig site, we stumble upon a tomb. Here we learn about the silver box of Ishel, an artifact that would summon the god Kukulkan, the god of creation and destruction. We uncover an ancient dagger, the dagger used to unlock the silver box. As Trinity guards quickly encroach on Lara's position, she takes the dagger from the pedestal and runs away. Here, we unlock our second achievement for taking the dagger, Dia de Muertos. Now, we must make our way back through the dig site to ditch the Trinity guards after the dagger. We'll have to fight through some enemies to make our way through. Here, we can unlock a few combat related achievements to get them out of the way. Firstly, I burnt 2 enemies with a Molotov to unlock Playing with Fire. Next, I got 3 headshots in 3 seconds with the pistol to unlock Gunslinger. And lastly, I killed 3 distracted enemies to unlock Look Over There. We finally escape the dig site, only to run into Dr. Dominguez and his goons. He retrieves the knife and we learn the ill-fated fate of a boxless dagger, Catastrophes.
A tsunami is coming, and this is the first of many catastrophes you're doing!
You would have done the same!
We're then swept along by the tsunami, dodging debris and swimming through what's left of the town. We then unlock our 6th achievement, Recipe for Disaster, for surviving the flood. Although, immediately after, I did get impaled and had to redo it.
Okay.
Lara then meets back up with Jonah. She gets a little selfish, and Jonah, fairly, loses his cool.
You're the only one that can what? You don't know that you caused all this, Lara! Not everything is about you!
However, we finally find out how they got that disastrous ticket to Peru. Emerging from the wreckage of the plane crash, we find ourselves thrust into the heart of the wilderness. Our immediate goal is to recover our lost equipment and search for any survivors. But first, we take a pit stop at a campfire to save the game and upgrade some skills, thus unlocking the achievement First Steps for acquiring our first couple skills, 2 of them being required for Chain Gang, a later achievement. After recovering our lost gear, we go in search for our lost companions. Tragically, we discover Miguel, the pilot, torn apart and now nothing more than cat food for the jaguars. Lara then fights them and, as expected, emerges victorious. Shortly after dispatching one of the beasts, we find Jonah near the other half of the plane. For any hope of survival, or stopping Trinity, the duo must search for civilization. We will be unlocking a lot of achievements this early in the game, but it will slow down as we clean the easier ones. As we journey onward, we stumble upon a strange object. Here, we unlock treasures from the past for deciphering a monolith. A brief detour leads us to explore a hidden tomb before we press on. As Jonah stands by, we get mauled by an Empress Jaguar, the last of the Jag family we slaughtered previously. After again defending ourselves, we unlock survival instincts. In an odd turn of events, we transition to a segment about Lara's childhood. Honestly, there's nothing worth mentioning here other than the tragic suicide of her father, which we've seen countless times over the trilogy. As we continue on our search for civilization, we unlock 2 more achievements. The first being Untold Riches, unlocked by mining 40 gold ore. Next up, we channeled our inner seamstress and unlocked To the Nines for restoring and equipping the vestige outfit we obtained from the tomb. We then rummage through a crypt and unlock our 12th achievement, Archaeologist, for completing an artifact collection. We then continue the story before unlocking more achievements. We finally reach Kuwakiaki, a small village in the Peruvian jungle, and meet Abigail, the town's inn owner and town protector by destiny. Shortly after exploring the newfound town, we unlock 5 achievements in short succession, these being Makeshift Arsenal for fully upgrading our pistol, Points of Interest for learning 5 locations from civilians, Asking Price for purchasing an item from a merchant, Resting Place for uncovering 3 crypt secrets, and lastly, during our first side mission, we unlocked Sixth Sense for killing 10 enemies whilst perception is active. With enough blood on our hands, it's time to progress the story once again and unlock several achievements along the way. We break through an ancient site en route to the Temple of Light. We harness our inner alligator to farm a few of the kills required for tables turned, like a shadow and last known position. Unlocking First Blood, we continue on our way. Finally utilizing the 2 skill points we purchased earlier, we also unlock Chain Gain by getting 3 double stealth kills. Once arriving at the Temple of Light, we had to complete a puzzle, something we'll have to do over and over again. This one had us utilize a photograph that Lara took in the initial crypt of the game and understand an ancient language, or I missed something. I ended up guessing it in the end with enough time and a few context clues from said photograph. As we progress through the temple, we come across a mural. The mural details clues about the silver box's location, the most important being about a silver eye. Upon deciphering the mural, we unlock yet another achievement. Exiting the temple, we stumble upon some Trinity guards and farm some headshots with the bow to unlock Marksman. I died trying to farm some other achievements here and had to restart from a campfire. Annoyed, I diverted to a tomb to complete my 3rd tomb and unlock Steel Hunter. Returning to where I died, I then unlocked Tables Turned for killing 5 enemies whilst they searched for Lara. I again died shortly after that to the worst mechanic in the game, piranhas. I would die to them again. They are near guaranteed death if you're spotted. Achievements will now slow a bit and come in waves instead of the constant bombardment we've faced thus far. Being one step closer to finding the silver box, we progress through the temple again in search of a hidden city. We must progress through a series of trials, the first being the trial of the spider. There's nothing special here and nothing worth mentioning. However, the trial of the eagle is a different story. It was one of the most painful parts of my entire playthrough. Without survival instincts, the paths were a pain to follow and I constantly screwed up the jumps and timings. After 2 sessions and over an hour of pain, I finally beat the trial and continued onwards to the hidden city of Paititi. Forgetting about the first side mission I completed long ago, I returned to Kawakiaki and finished the mission. Here, I got 2 achievements. The first was to finish that specific mission, the second was to complete any side mission. Realizing there was a second side mission in the village, I diverted my attention away from Paititi and focused on finishing that mission first. During the search for Abigail's destiny, we raid another crypt and unlock a string of 3 achievements. Upon returning to Abigail, we're sent to raid yet another tomb. This tomb was really cool and fairly intricate, and it unlocked the achievement, Destiny's Trialed, for completing it. Returning to Abigail, we pieced together a map and discovered Abby's ancient origins. In return, we obtained an outfit that we could utilize to unlock another achievement, which I did accidentally shortly after. With all the side missions in the village cleaned up, we returned to Paititi and spent some time exploring the newfound ancient land. Here, we take a couple of high dives and loot some bird nests to complete our 5th challenge and unlock yet another achievement. Next up, and arguably the best achievement of the series, we pet 5 llamas to unlock Gomoteyama. Lastly, for the initial Paititi achievements, I bought my 3rd piece of equipment to unlock Better Equipped. Now, we further progress the story and discover what this ancient land has to behold. Upon meeting Queen Unuratu again, we discover the cult of Kukulkan and its leader, Dr. Dominguez, aka Amaru. Queen Unuratu's duty is to sacrifice the god Kukulkan to power the sun. Amaru wishes the same, however, he has a different intent with that duty than Unuratu does. Amaru was born in this village, he cares for this village. However, he would do anything to ensure its success, even if that means destroying the rest of civilization. Upon departing from the unrest, Lara heads in search for the silver box. Sneaking past cultist guards, we traverse through a series of puzzles and eventually find a hint at the box's location and a potential key. With our newfound discovery, we escape via the irrigation system and immediately find Etzli in grave danger. Despite Lara's best efforts, the cultists quickly nab Etzli, Queen Unuratu's son, in an attempt to use him as a bartering piece. With the cultist on Lara's tail, she makes a run for it in hopes of notifying Unuratu. The key, we discover, likely belongs to the mountain temple, the most probable location of the silver box, and the location where Etzli is likely being held. Lara and Unuratu split up to traverse the temple. After navigating the enemy-infested halls, Lara begins to enter the temple. As the doors open, she spots Unuratu and Etzli escaping. However, despite the Queen's valiant effort, she gives herself up to ensure Etzli's safety. We report the status of Unuratu to Jonah and continue to a massive cenote. After taking a courageous dive, we unlock Underwater Archaeologist for collecting 5 underwater artifacts. Unfortunately, there were more piranhas in this area. Luckily, they only ate me once. Progressing onwards to the temple, we crawl through some tunnels. Here, I got a good jump scare from a little gremlin creature.
Oh, fuck me! Ah, Jesus Christ!
Shit!
After fending off their fiendish friends, we progress onwards to the main section of the temple. After solving some puzzles and fighting some more gremlins, we enter the locked door and head towards the silver box. The box is gone, and the gremlins initiate chase. They got my ass once, but after running it through again, I unlocked an achievement for successfully escaping their wrath. Shortly after, we loot a dead body and gain the ability to climb on the underside of cliff ceilings, as well as another achievement. I again died because the traversal in this game is really ass sometimes, and had to run through the gremlins a 3rd time. Finally escaping with our lives, we return to Paititi to regroup with the others. After devising a plan to free Queen Unuratu, Lara completes a few side quests, which feels pretty inopportune at this time, but we did it anyways. One of those side missions was to raid Shak's tomb to obtain a shield, and to unlock an achievement. Unfortunately, this is just a side mission, but as we approach the endgame, I'll be grinding out the last remaining non-story achievements, so buckle in for an onslaught of achievements. Taking note from the previous games, I destroyed a red laptop, which later crashed my game. Do not break this laptop, you will crash. Luckily, this gave me a perfect opportunity to crank out some more achievements when I reran that section. Firstly, I unlocked Made to Endure. Next up was Like a Shadow. Lastly was Last Known Position. After ignoring the urge to break the laptop, we escape the compound and return to camp. We return Shock's shield and unlock yet another achievement. As reward, we also obtain a new outfit, which, you guessed it, gives us another achievement. Continuing along our string of side missions and finally equipping the outfit needed for an achievement, we unlock the most annoying and situational combat achievement, Surprise, by performing 5 Eagle's Talon takedowns. This requires a specific tree to do so, and it doesn't appear super often, nor do enemies like to stand near them. Next, we complete Sayuri's tomb, who, by the way, was Amaru's brother, and unlock yet another achievement. Once we turn that mission in, we unlock another 2 achievements for completing that specific mission, and completing 8 total side missions. Finally, we stop our sidetracking and continue the story. We meet with Etzli to free his mother. We unlock yet another 2 achievements for obtaining a max upgraded knife, and for completing another side mission. We soon stumble upon Amaru and Unuratu having a tense conversation. Later freeing Unuratu and unlocking another achievement for doing so, we tread on for more clues for the location of the box. As Laura twiddles her thumbs and collects bugs, Unuratu fights a valiant fight outside. Unfortunately, bows are no match for rifles, and Unuratu falls. Despite Etzli being just a mere child, he takes the news very well and immediately takes charge to fulfill what his mother couldn't. As Etzli prepares for war, Jonah and Lara head back to Kuwakayaki to decipher some clues. On our scenic boat ride, a Trinity helicopter spots us and mows us down. With no sign of Jonah, Lara gets dropped on the shore of a Trinity-infested oil field. This section is raw stealth, as Lara lost her weapons when the boat went down. We must make our way through by sneaking or assassinating as need be. Eventually, we regain a bow as we now search for Jonah. Commander Rourke, the killer of Unuratu and main commander of Trinity, continues to taunt Lara as she slaughters his men. Unfortunately, on her quest to find and save Jonah, she runs into a settlement of soldiers. Avoiding chopper fire, she scales the fiery oil towers in an attempt to escape. Eventually, a helicopter destroys the towers underneath her feet, and she falls into the water below. Despite all seemingly being lost, Lara remembers Amaru's words about the disasters, about Jonah yelling at her, and most importantly, she must live to save the world. In the most badass move of defiance, Lara emerges from the water, draped by a fiery background. she retrieves a rifle and goes absolutely batshit crazy, raining hellfire on anything that moves. Amongst the bloodshed, we utilize a new piece of kit we found not long before, an arrow that causes enemies to turn amongst themselves. By killing 5 enemies with friendly fire, this marks the last combat-related achievement we must obtain, Total Party Kill. Reuniting with Jonah, Lara informs him what clues she found whilst Unraided fought. The box lies in the crypt of a Christian missionary in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Traveling to San Juan, we unlock Heart of the Serpent. Here, we meet with the locals of the church. Luckily, one of the residents is an archaeologist herself, and immensely helps Lara on her hunt. Later equipping another outfit, we unlock another achievement and continue on our hunt for clues. Exploring the jungle of San Juan, we stumble across a flock of turkeys and set them alight to unlock Thanksgiving. While exploring a nearby tomb, Lara finally crafted enough ammo to unlock On the Go, for crafting special ammo 50 times. Returning back to the church, Lara discovers a series of clues that lead to a false mural. Upon closer inspection, it is discovered that the mural was built more recently than the rest. After tearing it down, it leads Lara to the largest clue yet, the entrance to the crypt that contains the silver box. After completing a series of deadly spike-filled puzzles, the two finally discover the final location of the box. However, the two aren't triumphant just yet. As Lara lays her grubby fingers on the box, the crypt begins to crumble under their feet, sending them to a watery pit down below and for another achievement in our grasp. Somehow, that still isn't the biggest issue at hand. Once Lara emerges from the depths, she discovers Amaru beating Jonah in an attempt to garner information about her whereabouts. Luckily, Lara just narrowly beat them to the box. With increasing threats from Amaru, Jonah takes it into his hands to defend both their lives and the possession of the box. Jonah attacks the Trinity guards and nabs the box. The place is teeming with Trinity guards. Somehow Jonah managed to run right past them without a fuss. Unfortunately, it isn't going to be as easy for Lara. Just as Jonah commandeered a helicopter and escape was imminent, Amaru rears his ugly head and obtains the box, knocking Jonah from the hovering helicopter. Luckily, the helicopter seems to be falling apart, potentially not making it very far. With a catastrophic volcanic eruption and a mudslide striking, Lara traverses a crumbling village to both pursue the chopper and get to safer ground. Boxless but safe, the two return to Paititi to reconvene with Etzli. With Lara's urge to explore, we walk the Path of Fear and complete Howl of the Monkey God's tomb to unlock Monkey Dew. Returning back to the Mission Giver, we unlock Harmony, another tomb-related achievement. We then return to previous areas to clean up the last of the side missions and DLC challenge tombs. Along the way, we unlock the skill Viper Snare to mark the last skill required to fulfill the achievement Specialist. From the previous side mission, we equip its outfit to unlock another outfit-related achievement. Somehow, there are still a couple of those remaining. Completing another absolutely grueling tomb, we unlock Came and Conquered. Despite unlocking the achievement, we still must fight through some enemies to actually exit the tomb. All was going well until Lara got on my ass and pressured me into taking a zipline. Unfortunately, Lara can't take shit on ziplines and she slipped off after being shot. Thus meaning I had to run it through 4 more times. On the 4th run, I actually beat the last of the Trinity guards and finally escaped. Not triumphantly, just sadly. On a more positive note, I did unlock another achievement for completing that infuriating tomb. With no missable achievements remaining, I grinded out the story and went back to clean up the last remaining achievements. Soon, we'll be in the final stretch of the hunt. Again, returning to Paititi, we discuss attack plans with the rebels. To utilize the box, Amaru must make haste to the pyramid during the eclipse. The rebels plan to cut them off and have Lara flank them from behind. Whilst Lara makes way from behind enemy lines, the two sides clash and the valley erupts into warfare. We again meet with the gremlin creatures, which we learned are named Yashil, although this time on better terms. We learn that the leader's name is Shock Shell, the other half required to open the box. By Shock Shell, Lara gets deemed as E-Shell, completing the puzzle needed to utilize the box. Joining forces with Shock Shell and their Yashil, we attack Trinity head-on. In a clash with Amaru, he escapes, leaving us to fight Rourke and his buddies. After beating Rourke, the tank-wielding maniac, we press onwards to finally end the struggle. Lara finally makes her way to the top of the pyramid, moments too late. Amaru completed its quest to unlock the silver box. However, hope is not lost. Despite him obtaining godlike abilities, he has yet to fulfill his plan. A boss fight ensued, and despite his abilities and backup of cultists, he is no match for Lara. Despite everything, in a heart-touching moment, Amaru still wishes for Lara to protect Paititi. To finish the ritual, Shock Shell must drive the dagger into E Shell. With Amaru's words still in her mind, Shock Shell drives the dagger into Lara's stomach, and she begins to glow a bright, sunny orange. Fulfilling the quest, the world keeps the sun, but Lara removes the shadows. 2 days later, we attend Unuratu's funeral. Jonah decides to stay in Peru for a while and spend some time with his new girlfriend, Abby, whilst Lara decides she will spend some more time in Paititi. Here marks the end of the story, and the unlocking of 3 achievements, those being for beating the game at various difficulties, the hardest being Deadly Obsession. Now, all we have to do is clean up the last achievements. Most of those are just finishing side missions, challenge tombs, and equipping more outfits, all fairly easy. The last 14 will require us to once again play through 7 different tombs in Score Attack and Time Attack. Luckily, those are really easy as you only need to get a bronze or better in them, but those will be cleaned up at the end of this journey. Now, I'll try and wrap this up as quickly as possible, since we can all agree that grinding out tombs and collectibles isn't the most fun playing or watching experience. Whilst cleaning up a couple of tombs, we get a Yashil lore drop. The Yashil were created alongside the silver box and the key. They were created as guardians of the plane, and now they've returned home. As I whittle down the remaining tombs, I also go around collecting the last remaining collectibles. Eventually, I unlock Tomb Raider for finishing all of the main game tombs. 3 more outfit achievements unlock shortly after, and then I'm back to finishing the DLC tombs and missions. Opening the last treasure chest, I unlock Treasure Hunter for finding all of the main game treasure chests. 3 more campaign related achievements remain. The first of them, we fight and defeat the Nahul, an armored jaguar outside of Paititi. The last 2 are unlocked at the same time by completing an artifact collection and reaching 100% completion by picking up the last document in the game. Now, the last 14 achievements in the game require us to replay every challenge tomb twice. Luckily, these are really easy, as I've stated earlier, you only need a bronze medal or above. I won't bore you too much with that, so here's a compilation of achievements. After 99 achievements and about 60 hours under my belt, I finally achieved 100% completion in Shadow of the Tomb Raider.